Tea time. Welcome everybody, Souldin and the Grin Brothers here, and welcome to another episode of Tea Time. Now then, first world problems. There, generally is a term used for when you're complaining about something that would be minor. For example, Mum often complains about the fact that my teas fill up the tea cupboard. It's a minor problem. And so, for instance, for today's tea, I've got Assam, a tea I've tried long ago that I know I like, but the reason I'm having this strong tea with a multi-flavour typical of the Assam region in India, that is from Assam, the land of storm clouds and rolling fertile plains, where a small-leafed, strong-tasting wild tea was found by the British in the 19th century, and it has a multi-character, is because it's almost out. I've only got a few more tea bags to go, only two more tea bags left of it. And once I've got that, I can throw away the box and, hey, more room for me to fill up with even more tea. So, I've got tea with milk, simply because another problem I'm having is I'm starting to run out of new teas to actually try. A lot of the teas I've got left are actually ones I've already had before. I need to start consuming them in my own time a heck of a lot more, or do them again on the Grin Brothers, on the tea time, because of the tea book I need to fill in. Haven't been filling that in as often because almost all the tea times I do are done around 11 o'clock to past midnight. So, yay, I don't get any sleep. That's another problem I've been having through doing Namco's Pokemon Miiverse Adventure. Yes, I bring that up again. I've barely had any sleep, particularly with the upcoming announcement of the closure of Miiverse. So, for this past month and such, I've basically had only 4 hours of sleep each day. Another problem that has occurred from Namco's Pokemon Miiverse Adventure, consuming my time, Miiverse consuming my time, as well as other sort of things, is that I've built up a heck of a backlog of games. I've got too many games. It's like, what do I play? Yes, this is the tea time. This is my problem. From focusing so much on getting Namco's Pokemon Miiverse Adventure done in time this past couple of months, and on focusing on Grin Brothers and all that, I have easily over 10 games here stacked up that I haven't really invested time in, or I want to reinvest time in. It's not even all the games. I haven't got the 3DS games down here, and obviously I can't stack up the online games in a physical presence. So today's tea time, as I drink this tea I've had before and complain about a very minor gripe of how I've got too many games to play. And that's not even counting the fact that I've been collecting Wii games, which I hope to eventually do a Wii review. I've got well over 50 Wii games. At least over 20, 30 Wii games I probably haven't actually played yet. This is Backlog Bonanza. And no, I will not be covering every single one of those Wii games. I'm already getting ticked off with how much reorganising I'm going to have to do with stacking all the games back on the shelf. I had them all nicely organised, and now it's a big mess. So then let's start with some of the games which aren't down here. Well, they are down here, but at least one of them is. Reaching over to my 3DS, which I've basically had playing nothing but Pokemon Yellow for a while. Inside my 3DS at the moment is a game I did take a brief break from to play from Pokemon Yellow to play it. And that's because I've been looking forward to it for a long time, and with the cancellation of Scalebound, a second mourning its loss. It became my number one most anticipated game of this year, and I've had a lot of fun playing it in the small dosage I was. That is Ever Oasis, and I really look forward to the idea of getting back to Ever Oasis. But there's a lot of other games I'm interested in playing, some because I just want to get them out of the way. For instance, another 3DS title that I've yet to complete is Pokemon Sun. I haven't had a thrilling experience, but Rafi keeps insisting, oh, it gets better, and it's like, okay, and it's like, I don't want to leave it unfinished, and, it's a Pokemon game, I should be loving it to bits, so I want to push myself to complete that, but, play through it again next, or play through some of the newer games I've got is a real debate. Should I sort of play a lot more of Ever Oasis, or finish off Pokemon Sun? A 3DS game I got for Christmas was the Legacy Undercover The Chase Begins, because I really enjoyed the Wii U Legacy Undercover game. It was a lot of fun. So I got the 3DS one as a Christmas present, sort of pre-owned sort of thing, but I've yet to actually get around to actually playing it, which is a little bit annoying. There's a lot of incomplete games, some that I ended up sort of losing track of and restarting over and over again. But usually I've gotten a feel for those games, and I think, I know what I enjoy about the game. I can put them aside as I focus on other games and just pick up if I ever get back into the mood. Oh my gosh, there's another game I've just noticed I didn't put on my stack. And that is, as I just noticed from where I'm sitting down, a PS3 game. Odin Sphere Leia Frasea is a game I was really looking forward to because I'm a big fan of Muramasa the Demon Blade, and Vanillaware's art style is incredible. However, playing Odin Sphere Leia Frasea was at a time where we didn't actually have a PS4, and I didn't want to go through the trouble of setting up, at the moment, the PS3. It's also a fairly lengthy RPG, so if I played that, it would start consuming quite a bit of my time. And again, I have to disconnect at least one of the current gen consoles we've got, and now the SNES Mini, to set up the PS3, and that's nicely set up in the cupboard, well, under the shelving unit. You know, it's like, interested, like Vanillaware games, if you've seen the art, it's beautiful art, and I've heard a lot of good praise about Odin Sphere Leia Frasea. This remake of it, in a way, incorporates a lot of the sort of smoother, quicker paced elements of Muramasa Demon Blade into it. So that's really interesting. Let's see here then. I shall... let's cover a few Xbox One games first. Okay, of the physical copies I've got with me, that was a bit of a heavy slap there, I've got Quantum Break, a game I was really looking forward to. And I don't know if it was the cancellation of Pure Xbox or something. I mean, oh gosh, I've got the receipts in here and everything. Oh yeah, those are the Alan Wake activation codes, because that was a bonus you got with it. Star Wars The Force Awakens discount thing, something like that. In any case, you know, I've had Quantum Break for a while. It's an Xbox One exclusive, back when the Xbox One actually had exclusives. I say that, but I think I actually today bought an Xbox One exclusive, so... But yeah, you know, I never got around to actually playing it, and I really do want to at some point. Doesn't appear to be my type of game, but the concept of it really interested me. And I felt after I played Watch Dogs, I kind of wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I think the Xbox One has been good for getting me out of my comfort zone and playing games I wouldn't normally play. Recall, for instance, it's a game I've played enough to know I like. In fact, I love Recall. It's... You know the sort of games where you played when you were younger, and it's be the thing you think about whilst you're at school, and the moment you get home from school, you immediately rush to your system to start playing that game? That was Recall for me. And it's not often it happens. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Muramasa the Demon Blade, most Kirby games, you know, those are the sort of games which ignite that sort of feeling. Recall is one of them. I absolutely adore this game. It's not the sort of game I'd play, but it's competent platforming, a lovely world. It's funny, at the time Pokemon Sun and Moon was supposed to be what grips me, but funny enough, it just recalls world where everyone is dead and isolated in a desert wasteland appealed to me far more after dealing with the Alolan residents. They're so creepily happy all the time. But yeah, I really want to get back to playing Recall, but I've already played a fair chunk of it. It's not the longest game from what I heard, and it's had a huge update I've heard recently. Kind of wondering if I should start from the beginning, but also kind of wondering if that would just mean that it'd be taking forever. Speaking of getting out of my comfort zone, as I said before, Watch Dogs, when I played on the Wii U, got me out of my comfort zone. And I really enjoyed Watch Dogs, even though I would only rate it as an average or 5 or 6 out of 10 game, if I was, you know, pushing my opinions aside. So I got Watch Dogs 2. I'm interested in playing Watch Dogs 2. I waited a while, hoping it'd have a Wii U or Nintendo Switch version announced. I've got here an Xbox One. I've got a deluxe edition, which is impressive, given it wasn't day one sort of purchase. I got it as a present from my brother. In fact, not Rafi, the older brother. One of the older brothers. But yeah, I'm interested in playing Watch Dogs 2. I remember getting it was all installed on the Xbox One ready. You know, so I wouldn't have to do it when I decided to play for it. But that was ages ago. I still have yet to actually play it. Start it up from the menu or anything. Because again, I've just been so busy with everything else. This one I've played a lot before in the past, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. Why am I mentioning Dead or Alive 5 Last Round? Because I want to play more Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. As I may have mentioned before, this is one of those games I want to get good at. This is a fighting game that, in terms of the mechanics itself, is the most appealing to me. I want to play this game a lot more often, but it's like, there's so many new games I want to try out, so it feels a bit weird going back to playing an older game. I think this is a problem with games which are built around the sort of concept of playing it over time, because, you know, there's newer games which will give you new experiences, but these games offer you a consistent enjoyment over long stretches of time. You know, it's not a story-focused game where there's an end point to truly sort of like think, now I've, you know, done that, I can put it away. No, this is, Dead or Alive 5 to me keeps gripping me, and I keep wanting to go back and playing it. Another game on the Xbox One that I want to keep going back to play as well is Fable Fortune. I was really looking forward to Fable Fortune. I backed the Kickstarter and it managed to get funded, not via Kickstarter but a third party. But the sort of beta came out and I really enjoyed it. But aside from once or twice after the Souldin Shorts, I haven't really been able to sit down and play it again. I think the Souldin Shorts are pretty good and they motivate me to play a lot of these games and push me, sort of giving me a sort of time to play them. Because I'm pushing aside other times where I'd be doing like Grin Brothers sort of editing and such to instead play a game so I could have it to edit and record later. I really enjoyed Fable Fortune. It's one of those games that I like with Dead or Alive because of updates and such. I want to keep playing it over and over time, get better and better and better. But of course there's the case of, shouldn't I be trying out new gaming experiences? And it's really hard to juggle those as well as editing and all that, and sorting out, life, going to work, trying to get a different job because I don't like my work, stuff like that. And of course, I add other hobbies to my sort of schedule, some of which turn out to be a lot more time consuming than I thought they'd be. Another game on the Xbox One, I was really looking forward to it, and it's a digital download, Phantom Dust. It's also connected to cards, sort of third-person JRPG sort of style game, but I've yet to actually get around to playing it. I started playing Voodoo Vince first instead. I think I can stop playing Voodoo Vince for a bit because I've got a feel of it. I haven't gone very far in it, admittedly, but I've got a good enough feel to have my judgment on it. It's more of a Raffy game to me in terms of 3D platforming. But yeah, I really liked Voodoo Vince, but I've got a good enough feel to that. But I've yet to get around to trying Phantom Dust, and that's been a game I've been looking forward to for like good sort of 2-3 years now. And, just life and matters and just trying to sort out all these other games keep getting in the way. It's one thing of cutting down on the game purchases, even though there are so many games that keep appealing to me. And I say that ironically because I purchased a new game today. Let me just get my bag from over here and look through it. And by the way, we've got quite a few more to go. I'm hoping to speed this up a bit. Let's see. Oh, funny enough, I actually think I may have done pretty well in trying to look for a job today. Yeah, random thing to bring up. In that it seemed to go well when I actually found the job advertisement, simply because I was craving a slush puppy. So I can thank a slush puppy if I get this job I'm currently applying for. In any case, back to games. This one came out today and was only 20 quid. Super Lucky's Tale. Look! Okay, you can't look because I don't show film on this. But it's an Xbox One console exclusive. That is crazy in this day and age. Yeah, it's a free sort of platform with a cutesy art style. Apparently it's a sequel to an Oculus Rift game, but it looks fun. It was only 20 quid, so I purchased it, and I really want to get around to playing it. But I've got so many other games I want to play at the same time. It's a nightmare. This is suffering, having so many games. I know. It's not so much painful. It's more like I'm not sure what to play. I've got so much, and some of them are older ones I want to play, as I've noted. That's a big problem, in that I want to experience these new experiences I've got, but there are so many older games that catch my interest. I can't imagine where people get the time to play so many games. Like, even in, say, the Wii U drought, even if I was focusing on the Wii U, there were so many games out that, to even complete them, I would, not find the time to, I've just questioned, where do you find all this time? Like, where do you fit all this time into your day-to-day life along with work and other hobbies? It just sounds like when I go to these sort of websites and then think, oh, I'm so bored, not enough games are coming out. It's like, what? Do you have no other hobby? It's like, it takes ages for me to play these games. Admittedly, maybe they all play like Raffy. Raffy breezes through games. Even with all the exploration, he'll sit down and play for a game for like 8 hours straight. It was actually pretty funny when I went to BuckCon. I was a big Brony fan at the time of My Little Pony. I still like My Little Pony, I just haven't watched a lot of the episodes. But I went to BuckCon, and Raffy had purchased Saints Row 4. We left with him sort of playing Saints Row 4 on the sofa. We came back that weekend, after a weekend away. He was still on the sofa, and we're questioning whether he even moved. He finished Saints Row 4. And it's funny, he got up and moved, and for a while there was an imprint of him in the sofa because he'd been sitting down playing Saints Row 4 on that exact position the entire weekend. It was incredible, but yeah, I don't know how he does it because I keep, getting distracted. One I also covered with Souldin Short, Gravity Rush 2 on the PS4. Yeah, moving away from Xbox One now. Gravity Rush 2 on the PS4. My first impressions aren't positive on it, I will admit. I played it further than the Souldin Short, so I've had a few impressions of it. My problem with it is that it feels, from what I've played, they kind of took the good things about Gravity Rush and then thought bigger is better as the approach to the game. I think I may have covered this in a tea time already, but you don't make a game better just by making it bigger. It actually makes it kind of more annoying that they just thought bigger and cram more stuff into it, because it takes ages to get anywhere. The pacing's kind of a bit thrown off, and there's too much to being thrown at you from the get-go. It's not like mechanically complicated, it's just like, I can't find a save, I can't find the warp point or the save point because there's so much detail, so many characters crowding this place, so the areas are so big, and it takes ages to get from point A to point B. But at the same time, I really enjoy Kat and the world that she inhabits, and I was a big fan of Gravity Rush 1, so I really do want to get back to playing Gravity Rush 2 to see how the story unfolds, and whether it can, improve my opinions of it later on. King of Fighters 14 is a game of Rafi's ownership. And this isn't so much one I wanted to complete, but more just one I wanted to play more of, because it was fun from what me and Rafi played. But we haven't really played much of it. But it's one I, want to do a few rounds of. I'm not sure if I want to invest time in it, because it is a PS4 game. And that not being my system and not being a controller I feel comfortable with, doesn't, really indulge me into playing a fighting game and learning how to play it. But as one that I feel I like the mechanics of and how it's designed, I do want to try it out some more and, play around with the characters. Just have a few rounds. Probably not, I could probably make a week of playing this, a day or two every now and again, and then playing some other games. Probably, and I'd probably just stick with Dead or Alive and such games I'd actually want to get better, and, Dead or Alive 5 and Pocket Tournament where games where I want to get better and learn how to play, and even maybe go online with them. But it's still a game I want to try out some more of. I'm going to try some of this Atam tea, which I've already had before, so I'm not sure why I'm saying I'm trying it. I know the result. It's malty. It's nice. Goes well with milk to balance out some of its strength. Really, really smooth, as it were. It just flows down really well. Whether you like it depends. Do you like the taste? Do you like a malty taste? That's literally all that can be said about it. It's a very simple tea, in my opinion, but enjoyably simple. It doesn't try to complicate things too much. It has one specific taste, and it does that taste well. So, if you like that specific taste, there you go. That's Assam tea. So then again, moving on to, still sticking to PS4 games, I've got two here. One of them is, again, a Christmas present I still haven't gotten around to playing. My interest in the PS4 is interesting in the, it's Rafi's PS4. I don't have any personal interest in the PS4 itself, and namely because all the games I wanted for it were available on other systems. For instance, the two games I really wanted for the PS4 were both PS Vita games, Gravity Rush and Tearaway Unfolded, which I have in my hand right here. And I've actually, again, with the Christmas present, not gone around to playing Tearaway Unfolded. It's not high up on my priority list, but that's purely because of being on the PS4 rather than one of my own systems. At the same time, I really want to play it, and it's like, sometimes Rafi does look like he wants to play it himself, he looks like, and it would be a bit weird him playing my game before me, sort of thing. I mean, I'd let him, but, it's like, I really should be the one to sort of start playing, and I feel bad that, people go out of their way to buy me these presents, I just can't seem to find time in my life to sort of play them. It's just, so much keeps coming out. That's a big thing I also like about Grin Brothers, in that it also gets me to play some games which I don't normally have the time to play through myself. It's like, as much as I disliked Legend of K, it was good to set aside time so I was specifically playing Legend of K and could have a full opinion of it, and a full experience with that game. As, well as other games I've purchased. And the final one is a game that Rafi has talked about a lot. And it's like, I want to try this out myself because it looks so much fun. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Rafi adores this game. I'd love to play it myself. Though I couldn't do like Rafi does and speed my way through it. Like, he can sit down playing this one game for ages. That would take me, at least a couple months. He did it in a couple weeks and a bit. It's like, I can't do that sort of thing. I can't sit down that long. I'd have to do something else. Something, say, Grim Brothers related, or, some of the other tasks at hand, or, my other hobbies that I'm interested in. But Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is a turn-based RPG game and a sort of return to good form for the Digimon series, and I've watched the story of it, so there's nothing new there, but I love the story and characters of it. So, there's a lot to appeal me to, attract me back to it. But again, it's all a matter of finding time, and an RPG is like the worst thing trying to find time for, because you have to book a lot of time for that. And other games, more of them, yeah. I'll try and get through these ones a bit quicker, because again, I don't like it going over 20 minutes. Nintendo Switch games. one of the first games I am definitely going to find some time to get around to playing now that Namco's Pokemon Miiverse Adventure is over, is Pokken Tournament DX. I already started playing it, but I stopped doing the daily challenges for a bit just to get Namco's Pokemon Miiverse Adventure done before Miiverse closes. Miiverse having a closed date has really screwed over my gaming time and my sleep cycle, as I've noted, with my 4 hours of sleep every day. I am just going to crash after this. I'm so sad at the loss of Miiverse, but also I am so tired. Night of Ursula 2, Bride of the New Moon, is basically, I'm pretty much going to be doing this as a Souldin short for the first few bits, just so I can react to it, because I know my opinion of it, sort of parts of my opinion to it, because I already am familiar enough that it's a Koei Tecmo / Gus game, so there's a lot of sexiness to it. Just to paraphrase, you might as well title this game Lesbians the Game. It's got a lot of that, and it's not subtle about it. It's kind of wonderful, really. But yeah, it's a third-person JRPG action game, and I was basically one of only 3 people who purchased it on the day everyone was purchasing Super Mario Odyssey instead. But yeah, that I definitely will be setting some time for. Games I'm not sure when I'll get around to playing, though, include Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for the Nintendo Switch. I've already played through the Xbox One version, but I got this because it fit in with that theme of what I wanted for the Nintendo Switch, to have my fighting games on the go. And, I kind of became addicted to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, even though I'd only rate it an 8 out of 10, but it was really enjoyable, and a huge improvement of the first one. This one I'm not worried about finding a time to play, because I've already played it technically, but I do want to play through it at some point, but it's a low priority one. Then there's this game I wanted to play through more of, but ended up kept practicing so much, only to find out that apparently one of the CPUs has a screwed up difficulty level in multiplayer, but Puyo Puyo Tetris, I haven't gone around to playing the single player of it yet, and I really want to. I got distracted by other things in regards to, thinking I wasn't good enough for it, but it just turns out there's this one CPU that the AI is really, really, really hard for some reason, even on lower difficulties. I don't understand that. In any case, I want to get around to playing some of the story elements of Puyo Puyo Tetris, so it'd probably be one when I go back to it. It wouldn't be a very lengthy time with it, much like with, playing the King of Fighters thing. Just, playing the modes that I missed out on because I was busy doing other stuff at the time. Okay, and finally, let's speed through these last 4 games. Game & Wario. Some people say it isn't that good. I mean, heck, this feature at the back says post sketches to Miiverse. That's kind of depressing now. But it's a game I got from a Wii U. I can't play it yet because of the lack of external hard drive to take some of the data off the Wii U. But it's one that I want to, I've got to play when the time comes. Also, I really like the look of the Ashley minigame in it. Hyrule Warriors. I haven't actually completed the story mode yet. I got distracted by some things. I haven't completed the story mode because I was doing this stupid thing where I was trying to balance out the characters and such. It became way too time consuming, and other things eventually crept some time. That was my own fault. This was my own fault. Pretty poor planning in terms of trying to play through it. But I want to play more of it. Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE. I only got to the first 2 chapters because, again, Namco's Pokemon Miiverse Adventure took some of my time. It was Christmas I tried to play it at. And there was a lot of other games and new games coming out, and I think the main thing, though, was at the same time, the game I was playing in my spare time was Recore, and Recore just consumed me. I loved playing Recore, and it's like, which do I want to do? Play more of Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE or more of Recore? And the answer was always Recore. But it's a turn-based RPG, and I was looking forward to it for a long time, even though I ended up complaining a ton about the censorship it eventually received. But, it's one I want to get around to playing. And this final one, not so final one, but this second to last one, Star Fox Zero? I've played a lot of Star Fox Guard, but I haven't really played much of Star Fox Zero. The only reason I haven't played it yet is that me and Rafi may do it as a Grin Brothers video, but we're not 100% sure. It was supposed to be done earlier, but we ended up doing other games, and I'm a little worried that every time we go to try and play this, some other game will come out. Like with the SNES Mini, there's a whole lot more options coming out for games, and by Christmas time there'll be more options, and you never know what new games are going to be available. The Star Fox Zero I heard is best played co-op, so I really want to play it on Grin Bros with co-op. But at the same time, I also want to see about it myself and try out the unique gamepad focus. Again, I love the gamepad control scheme that they've got with it. And before I close, there's one last game I want to talk about what I want to play. It's called Project Zero Maiden of Blackwater. But you're doing an entire Grin Brothers playthrough of it. Yeah, where I sit down and watch Rafi play it. I love Project Zero Maiden of Blackwater. It's my second favourite game on the Wii U. Not counting, obviously, past releases, because I love Kirby's Fun Pack, which is, an unfair sort of thing. But as in, specifically released for the Wii U, and Wii U's generation, this is my second favourite Wii U game, and of exclusives to the Wii U, it's my number one favourite. I love Project Zero Maiden of Blackwater, and seeing Raffi play it really wants me to go back and play it myself, see if I can find some of the hidden things I missed before, try out the Nightmare difficulty, and I never actually finished the Ayana missions. The final mission took me 5 hours. I collapsed. I just couldn't even get up the stairs. I just kind of rolled my way up. You know, I was exhausted after that. And I loved it to bits, but it's like, I was so tired. Like, I needed a rest. And I was staying up to midnight and beyond to play the game, to get the true horror atmosphere out of it. And I did, and it was a blast. And of course, if you want to see us actually playing Project Zero Maiden of Blackwater, that is our current Grin Brothers playthrough at the moment. Check it out when you have time. Admittedly, there's probably only going to be like 1 or 2 people watching this, but hey, I can still advertise for it. So yeah, I have a big backlog. Any suggestions what I should play first? I think Pokken Tournament is one I'm going to dip and dab to. That's no problem. I'm going to try out Knights of Azure 2. As well as another digital game, Caveman Warriors, because I backed it on Kickstarter. I'm going to dip into them, try them out a bit. Pokken Tournament I'm going to sort of have on a sort of like, you know, try at least for a play every sort of 10 or 20 minutes every day sort of thing. But otherwise, I've got so many games here. What should I try play? Should I say finish Pokemon Sun off first? I mean, it's a Pokemon game. I should, you know, probably complete that. Or should I try one of these games I've not actually really experienced? Should I play more of Recall, that I have this huge love for going back to the world of Recall? You know, it's been weird not playing. Should I play a lot of my new games sort of soon? You know, should I finally get around to starting Watch Dogs 2 and Super Lucky's Tale and all that? I'm so confused. So please help me out with some suggestions of the Backlog Bonanza and share your thoughts and sort of building up these backlogs of games. You know, what compels you to finally get back into the backlog of games? What makes you end up building such a backlog of games? You know, do you still keep feeling like you want to buy new games because they interest you, even though you realise you've still got such a big backlog of games you want to continue playing more of? Or just haven't gone around to playing? Feel free to share your thoughts below. And cheerio, everyone!